Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's just great to be here today. Steve Jobs, Kobe Bryant, prodigies, tremendous potential at very young ages. Steve Jobs took his company public when he was 25 years old. The largest public offering since Ford Motor Company became public in 1956. Created the most valuable company on planet Earth with iMacs and iPads and iPods and I don't know what else. Kobe Bryant, drafted right out of high school, never went to college, played for the Lakers, was the youngest person when he stepped on the NBA court, the youngest person to ever play in an NBA game. He's won 5 NBA rings. He's been an All-Star 12 times. He's played in 14,000 games. He has an Olympic gold medal. They both made extremely important healthcare decisions. And I think we can all learn as much about their healthcare decision-making as their business and basketball decision-making. One got it right, and we all know one got it tragically wrong. Steve Jobs' biggest, most important decision was his biggest mistake. It started in October 2003. He was symptomatic. He had pain in his gut. He went in to have it diagnosed. He had some imaging done, and it turned out that he had kidney stones. And while they were doing the imaging on the kidney stones, they found a suspicious shadow on his pancreas. They biopsied it. They realized he had pancreatic cancer. Every single physician recommended surgery. His board of directors told him, Steve, you got to have surgery. You have to have this thing removed. Every doctor he went to told him, we need to surgically remove it. But Jobs, if anything, was a contrarian. He followed his own drummer. He did what he wanted to do, and he created an enormous amount of value by cutting against the grain. So by July 2004, 9 months later, when they did the next imaging, they found that the cancer had grown. Not only the lesion in the pancreas gotten bigger, but they found suspicious shadows in the liver. Never a good sign with cancer, certainly not a good sign with pancreatic cancer. So he finally decided to do surgery. When the surgeons went in, they cut out everything they could, but they saw they had lesions in the liver, and they knew they had an enduring problem, and they knew that over time, the problem was going to win, and they weren't. And just a couple months later, in October 2011, he passed away quietly with his family and closest friends around him at his home in Palo Alto. So that candle, that flame, that spark, that inspiration, that was Steve Jobs, that created not only the most valuable, but really one of the most transformational and interesting companies that we've ever had been extinguished because its founder, its CEO, its guide, its inspiration made a terrible mistake on the most important decision of his life. So Kobe Bryant made the right decision. Sadly, Steve Jobs made the wrong decision. What I'm here today to talk to you about is to learn from their experiences, to learn from my experiences. Over the years, I've been privileged, and it's truly been a joy, to manage healthcare for hundreds of people from around the world with all sorts of different medical conditions. And what I want to do with you in this session is to help you understand the key healthcare decisions and for you to make the right decisions for yourselves, for your families, for your friends, for your colleagues, for your neighbors, for your employees. Because if there's anything that I have learned, it's that when you know how to navigate this very troubled healthcare system of ours, you can get far better outcomes than you think possible. But if you simply take the care that the system gives you without being an active agent, without being a good consumer, the outcomes you're going to get are actually much worse than you think. If you haven't done it already, find a good primary care physician, someone you trust, someone who's going to be your quarterback, someone who's going to coordinate the care for you, and someone who's going to be there when you need them, because even if you don't need them today, that day is going to come tomorrow. In order to enable that physician and all of your other physicians to be at the top of their game, collect, organize, digitize your medical records. Do it for your spouse. Do it for your kids. We're all concerned about the safety and security of our families and ourselves. Organizing and having your medical records is a simple and direct way to ensure that happens. Make decisions about the hospitals you go to based on the complexity of the procedure you need and the frequency with which they do it. Not all hospitals are created equal. Not all physicians are equally capable. You need to figure out a process to identify a specialist who's at the best in the game. And I'll tell you that in many cases, the key predictor of excellence in surgical performance is volume. Practice makes perfect. So if you take those physicians who had done less than 50, we'll all agree those are rookies, about 24% of those patients, regardless of how they came in, had a return of the disease. Big number, 1 in 4. Let's look at the docs who've done more than 1,000. The return of disease is 8%. So merely by asking a surgeon and getting a truthful answer, how many of these have you done, ma'am? How many of these have you done, sir? And setting a threshold of 1,000 incidents of doing it, you can reduce your probability of having the disease come back and, frankly, of dying from it threefold. Question questionable claims. If a physician tells you, and I had this case the other day, that the surgery is really not a big deal and you'll be fine in a day, surgery is always a big deal. We know how to vote with our wallets, with our feet, with our purchasing power. We're really good. Everywhere, except one place, healthcare. There is something about the way we engage with the healthcare system in which our DNA for being good consumers just gets shut down. It's your responsibility, your obligation to synthesize that and make sure that your doctors are talking to one another about you and with you. Just in case it might promote a longer life, have a healthy mindset. There's data now that shows if you're optimistic, if you avoid unremitting stress, you got the potential to live a lot longer. So if you can, just figure out a way to be more optimistic about the future, that potentially, coupled with the other things I talked about, could be one of the most important determinants of how long you get to live. So let's just summarize it quickly. 10 things. First, foremost, forge a strong and enduring relationship with a top primary care physician. That's the person who needs to be the quarterback for your health. Go out, collect your medical records, digitize them, organize them, put them on a card, have it in your wallet. You're going to need that. One day, I promise you, it will make a big difference for you. If you have a major problem, go to a major academic medical center where they've got the expertise to do it. When you need a specialist, use your skill set to get the very best. Do not compromise. Go to somebody with the exact expertise that you need. Be at the cutting edge. Be very cautious of things that are at the bleeding edge because they can be counterproductive, because Mother Nature is always one order of magnitude more complex than we think. Be as cautious of overtreatment as you are of undertreatment. It's not necessarily better to get that pill. It's not necessarily better to get that surgery. Use the skills that have made you a success in life when you're dealing with your health care. You're all really good consumers or you wouldn't be in this room. Lead a healthy lifestyle, 4 things, simple and focused. And finally, be part of a healthy community. And last but not least, just in case it can make a difference, see if you can enjoy the benefits of a healthy mindset. You've been a terrific audience. I thank you so much. I look forward to taking some questions. Thank you.